Hi, how you doing? Justin here. Today we're going to talk about jazz real books. Some of you have probably heard the term before, either real book or a fake book. What these are books of jazz standards, the sheet music for them, usually the chords and the melody and sometimes the words too, but not always the words. So they're a pretty useful little thing when you start playing jazz. You'll sometimes see interviews with people who say that you shouldn't use them, but nearly all of the jazzers I know have real books and definitely probably used them when they were starting to learn to play. So I think the general idea is once you've been playing for a few years, you should try and remember the songs in your head rather than having to use have a book open all the time. But definitely when you first start, you're getting into jazz and you're learning a standard or you're learning a tune, it can be really helpful to get a real book. So the different types. Now, I've just got this really little baby version of the one called the real book. This is the 5th edition. It's normally big, like the same size as this, like a proper big book, but I bought this little one because I kind of knew most of the tunes anyway, so it was just like something to put in my gig bag as a little refresher for, how did that tune go? Oh yeah, it went like that, and I didn't have to sight read from it because that would be pretty awkward. And I didn't use it for harmonic analysis, which is something we're going to get into a little bit later on in this course about understanding harmony and working out what scales and stuff should go with what chords. So I'd recommend that you get the big version of this called the real book. Now, this one, the 5th edition, and I believe all of the previous editions were, they didn't pay royalties to the songwriters. So they were illegal. And when I bought this and the big one, I do have a big one, I just can't find it. I had to go to a shop and say, hey, have you got the real book? It was all real quiet and the guy pulled it out from under the counter like I was buying drugs or something weird. It was, I remember it was quite funny. Anyway, but it's now published by, I think, Hal Leonard are the publishers now, and you can buy, it's called the 6th edition, it's called the Real Book, and you might want to check that out. There's links to both this and the other real books, which I'm going to show you in a sec. There's links on the website to buying them on Amazon and stuff, so you almost certainly want to get yourself a real book if you're going to get into playing jazz, but like I said, you want to get a big style one, and I'd recommend this one, the Real Book 6th edition or 5th edition if you can find it. One thing to be really careful about is to make sure you buy the C version or the C and vocal version of a real book. You'll often see that there is sometimes a B flat one and an E flat one, and just so you understand what's going on there, there's a thing called transposing instruments, which both the trumpet and the saxophone are transposing instruments. And what transposing instruments do is when they play a note C, they look at the sheet music and they see the note C. If a trumpet player plays that note C, the sound that comes out is the note B flat. Now, this sounds about the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. If there's a note C, they should play a C and it sounds like a C, but it doesn't. So when they have a book, the B flat book, all of the melodies are written a tone lower, so that when they play it, tone lower or a tone higher? They're written a tone higher, so that when they play it, it comes out, the right pitch. Same with saxophone is in E flat, or not both saxophones, only one of them, and I can't remember which one it is, tenor or alto sax. Sorry, hole in my knowledge, need to rectify that. Anyway, so they play E flat. So you don't want a B flat edition or an E flat edition, you want the C edition, or the C and vocal edition of either this one. Now, if I just give you a little little close-up look, here you go, that's what it looks like, the front cover, and you'll see it's quite a thick book, right? And it's just loads and loads of songs. They're usually just on a page each song, right? Sometimes two, but usually just a page a song, and they're kind of handwritten, usually not particularly well, and there's some mistakes in it too in this one, in the 5th edition. What's the song? Blue in Green's got a couple of funny moments in it. So you've got to be a bit careful, because this book was done by students at the Berklee Music School. A little bit of history. Sorry, I'm kind of going on. If you just want the short version, just go and buy a real book. There's links on the website, right? You'll often hear this term, the fake book, and the fake books were called that because it gave you just enough information to fake a song, like to be able to play a song in a gig or whatever. If somebody said, hey, can you play Misty for me, you could pull up your real book and look up Misty, and it'd have the basic melody and the chords, so you could kind of blag it. So they were called fake books, but they were notoriously dodgy with lots of mistakes and stuff, and a bunch of Berkeley students decided to fix it and go and redo all of the tunes and do them a bit more accurately, and that's what the real book is, as opposed to the fake book. But then you get another one. Unfortunately, mine's lost its cover. In fact, the front 2 pages have fallen off as well as I was trying to get it off the shelf. It's called the New Real Book. There's a picture of it on my website, and they've got a few volumes. That's volume 1, which is really haggard for me, but there's a volume 2 and a volume 3. And these are a lot more nicely typeset. Oh God, this one's really had its day. That is the problem with the spiral binding, is that they get a little bit trashed. But you can see this one, as opposed to the other ones, this is a really nicely nicely printed one. It's done, you know, professionally. It's been done on a computer or whatever and typeset. So and it's a lot more accurate. These ones are called the New Real Book. That's the brand of this one. I feel naked without the guitar, so I've got to put my guitar back on. It's like being undressed in front of the camera. It feels really weird. Anyway, the New Real Book has a lot more kind of fusiony stuff. So when I was getting, you know, I bought this book and I was getting into stuff like the Yellow Jackets and kind of that sort of fusiony things, a bit of Schofield, Matheny, you know, so they're, as well as having some kind of traddy jazz, well, not traddy jazz, swing, they've got some more modern things, some nice Sonny Rollins tunes and stuff. So the New Real Books are really good and written nicer, and the New Real Book has lyrics too, which the old 5th edition Real Book or the 6th edition doesn't have lyrics. Okay, so I think learning the lyrics to a jazz song is really important, but I'm going to talk about that in another lesson. But yeah, I'd go out and find yourself a real book, because you only need one to start off with. And you know, tell the truth, so I guess I'm just left with the diamond geezers now, right? Because the other people would have left. They got bored of me talking. This one, the 5th edition, you can download it on the internet. I've found one. Now, I really don't think downloading sheet music books is a cool idea. I really don't, because publishers and people who write books like me get screwed over when people download books. And all the songwriters who wrote this book are getting fleeced, right? Because they're not getting any money for their songs that they wrote, which we want more songwriters and we want musicians to thrive. So I think buying stuff's a good idea. However, if you buy the book and then you download the PDF, I'm kind of like, well, that's kind of okay, because the thing that I've done, which I imagine a lot of people who play jazz do, is I print out just the songs that I want to play, because of all of this book, of which there's, I don't know, 300 and something, 484 pages, so at least 300 songs. There's probably 30 or 40 in here that I play, that I like playing. So what I've done is bought the books. Books are great for doing your harmonic analysis on too, being able to write on them and refer to it all the time. So, you know, getting the big size book, not this little dinky one, is a good idea. But then I print out the charts and I just put them in a folder. So I've got a little folder which is only the songs that I play, and it means if I'm working with someone or someone comes to the studio for a jam, I can pull out the book and go, here, pick a tune from that, and I know all of those songs, you know, rather than going, here, pick a tune out of this, and then managing to pick something really hard and awkward I've never seen before, you know. So you know, getting the PDF of the real book's probably not a bad idea as well, and then you can use it on iPad as well, which is the other thing that I found pretty useful, is having it digitally. But whichever way you go, I definitely think you want a book. And the reason that you want to have a paper book is because you want to write on it. And the iPad's no good for that. And on digital, if you print them out, they easily get lost and whatever. And it's less permanent feeling, you know. So in this one that's all falling apart, there's loads of scribble where you're writing in, you know, what the harmonic movements are and what scales you want to try on each chord. And that way, when you open the book up to play a tune, you've got all that information there to remind you. And, you know, I'm big on books anyway, actually. But so go and check them out. Get yourself a real book, because we're going to be starting the standard series soon. I'm mostly going to be using the ones from the real book, not the new real book, but the new real book is probably a bit better. So, you know, if you can afford to, get yourself both. That would be a really good plan. And like I said, there's links on the website and a little bit more information about the history of the real books as well, just because I researched it for this lesson, because it was really interesting. It's plenty of talking from me, I think. I'll let you get back to whatever you're doing, and I'll see you for plenty more jazz stuff very soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.